Hey everyone, welcome back to Azuria Plays. In this video, I'm going to be going over my first impressions of the Crown Tundra DLC for Pokemon Sword and Shield, and give you more information on the DLC's story in a new co-op mode, Dynamax Adventure. If you'd rather remain spoiler free, except for the content that was officially announced before the release, I uploaded a video on Thursday that goes over the content announced before the DLC dropped. So if you just want a preview, check out the video, the link to which is down in the description. When you load up the game, you'll be notified you now have a Crown Pass that lets you use the train in Wedgehurst to travel to the Crown Tundra, a land of adventure with many hidden legendary Pokemon. The Crown Tundra is in the southmost part of the map, hiding underneath the slumbering Weld, and as Galar is basically an upside down version of the UK, it seems we are off to the Scottish Highlands for a little adventuring. As we arrive, our Pokédex gets an upgrade which will allow us to record information on the Pokemon that we can find here. As we leave the station, we meet two new characters, a schoolgirl and her overbearing dad that looks suspiciously like Chirpin Rose. The girl is trying to get shot of her dad, and in an attempt to escape getting caught up in some nefarious scheme, I make a break for the snow-capped field that I can see in front of me, but the girl calls me back and it seems I have no choice but to interact with the two of them. These two seem to be the main characters of the story, and despite trying to escape from them, I'm actually excited to see what roles they play as we progress. The first area we enter is the Slippery Slope, which is home to a few of the returning Pokemon such as Jinx, Amura and Cryogonal. Amura is a big one, as this is the first time we've been able to encounter and catch fossil Pokemon in the wild, and I'm hoping that other returning fossils such as Omanyte and Kabuto can also be found wandering around the overworld. After catching a few of the Pokemon, we head off to this strange looking tunnel which turns out to be the Max Raid Lair. This is the location of the new game mode Dynamax Adventure, which is a new take on raid dens and a pretty fun co-op experience. I recommend you do the first raid in single player mode, which much like the Max Raid dens will pair you up with some NPC trainers to fill up the empty slots in the party. For the Dynamax Adventure, you need to pick from a selection of 3 rental Pokemon, as the raid dens are apparently too dangerous for your standard Pokemon to enter. These Pokemon all have predetermined movesets and abilities, and they are all level 65. Once the first player picks the Pokemon, the second player then gets to choose, and so on, and as one Pokemon is selected, another Pokemon will appear to replace it, so everyone will always be able to pick from a selection of 3. Inside the Max Lair, there are multiple paths you can choose, each one leading to a different Pokemon that you must battle and take down to progress. If the party is more than 4 faints during the entire adventure, you get blown out of the lair, so it's best to try and follow a path for which you have a good type matchup. Once you beat a Pokemon, you can catch it, and you can then swap your rental Pokemon for the newly acquired one. This allows you to try and optimise your team to take down the legendary Pokemon that's hiding at the end of the adventure, or to swap out a weakened team member for a full health Pokemon. On your way through the Max Lair, the paths will have backpackers, scientists or berries dotted about them. A backpacker lets you get a held item for your Pokemon, and will give you a selection of 5 different items to choose from. These can include the various seed items, berries, or items like leftovers or life orb, so heading towards these characters is quite beneficial. This is a pretty nice feature that adds another layer of complexity to the Dynamax Adventure, as you'll have to decide if you want to take the easy route through the lair, or take a potentially more challenging route that might net you some pretty decent items, that will ultimately make taking down the legendary Pokemon a little bit easier. The scientists will trade your rental Pokemon for a new one, which will allow you to take a badly damaged Pokemon and replace it with one at full health. However, the downside to this is that you don't actually know which Pokemon you'll be getting until you have agreed. So you have to think carefully about this one before you accept, as you might end up trading something with a good type matchup for something that has a poor type matchup for what you're about to fight. Finally, the berries will restore half your Pokemon's maximum HP when you pass over them. So these are a good option if you've just come out of a pretty tough battle and your team is looking a little worse for wear. Once you make it to the end, you'll then get the chance to battle and catch a legendary Pokemon. The battles against some of the legendary Pokemon can be pretty rough, especially against the legends that have moves that can hit your entire party, such as Groudon or Kyurem. Once you have taken down the legend and thrown your Pokeball of choice, you get to select which Pokemon from the adventure you want to keep. Out of the 4 Pokemon you will have had access to, you can only keep one of them, so make sure you choose carefully. Every encounter is a 100% catch rate, so you can decide what type of ball you would like each Pokemon to be in. On the selection screen at the end, it will show you if any of the Pokemon you've caught are shiny or not, and whatever Pokemon you don't select are released back into the lair. This allows you to shiny hunt a legendary Pokemon, as each time you battle and capture it, it will re-roll to have different stats, and it will also re-roll whether or not it is shiny. Just remember that when you select to keep a legendary, you won't be able to capture a second version of it. So if you want to shiny hunt, make sure you pass on all those normal coloured legends that you will be encountering as you explore the Max Raid lair. Once you have finished the adventure, if you choose not to capture the legendary Pokemon, the NPC who lets you enter the Max Raid lair can store that information or where you found it. This lets you set out into the Max lair to hunt that specific Pokemon, and she's able to store that information on up to 3 legendary Pokemon at once. This means you can hunt for a specific shiny variant if you have the lady store information on the Pokemon you are after. I personally have really enjoyed Dynamax Adventure, and so far most of my time in the DLC has been spent exploring the dense cave network that plays host to the legendary Pokemon of games past. The fact you have to use rental Pokemon really ramps up the challenge and adds a lot more strategy to the battles, as you won't be able to bring your level 100 Zacian to decimate everything that stands in your way with Behemoth Blade. The NPCs also seem to have some slightly improved AI. And don't get me wrong, Martin will still spam power-up moves if his rental Pokemon happens to have them. But one of the NPCs was using a Butterfree with the move Pollen Puff. Rather than just relentlessly attacking, they quite often used its healing function to keep a teammate healthy if they'd received damage and helping prevent some KOs. This is definitely a massive step up from Max Raid battles, and should provide hours of entertainment, especially when taking on with some friends. After you've done your first Dynamax adventure, you can head off to the town of Freezington, where you will be reunited with Peony. He will teach you about the 3 legends of the Tundra, and these will form the basis of the expansion's story content, and will allow access to some brand new Pokemon. First up, we have the legend of the King of Bountiful Harvests. There is a fairy tale in Freezington about the legendary Pokemon known as the King of Bountiful Harvests. In the legends, the king is said to wear a massive crown on its head, but the wooden statue near the fields in the middle of the village shows no sign of a crown. Next up, we have the legend of giants. Far, far into the giant's bed lies a temple where the giant of stone sleeps. On the temple doors are strange words. The door remains firmly shut. This is then followed up by clues on the 3 other temples, which all house giants of their own. Last but not least, we have the bird Pokemon of legend. When the sun reaches its zenith, it shines directly down upon a great tree with leaves that seem to burn. It is there that the legendary wings come to roost. The DLC story will focus on us solving these 3 legends, which will all lead to the discovery of some new legendary Pokemon, and by the sound of things, they will involve some exploration of the map in order to be solved. In addition to these legends, we can discover some footprints in the ground that Sonia tells us are evidence that will lead to the discovery of 3 legendary Pokemon: the Ironwell, Cavern, and Grassland Pokemon. Once we gather enough clues, Sonia will be able to point us in the direction of these Pokemon, and we will be able to catch them. I think this approach to storytelling is really cute, and it really puts the focus on exploration. So far, I have only worked on the King of Bountiful Harvest legend, but the story of the legends has been pretty engaging, and I have enjoyed chatting to various characters to learn some of the lore behind the Pokemon involved in this particular mystery. I'm excited to see how the other legends unfold, and if they will be story driven as this one. But that's enough out of me. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you're looking forward to diving into the Crown Tundra. Dynamax Adventure is really fun, and I can highly recommend playing it with some friends. If you're less keen for what can sometimes be a rather stressful dive into the Max Raid lair, the exploration focused story is nice and relaxing, and will net you some pretty decent Pokemon to add to your arsenal. Let me know down in the comments what features of the DLC you've enjoyed so far, or what features you're looking forward to if you have yet to jump in for yourself. If you're new to the channel, it would be great if you subscribe and check out some of my other content such as my Egg Lock Challenge series using the card currently on screen. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.